And welcome back to more political chatter. In this video, we will be talking about the 2024 United States Senate elections. I have not done a Senate predictions update in a while, so I did decide that I would do it. And let's get right into it. So, of course, there are multiple factors that will affect these elections. And most importantly is that the presidential election will be held on the same ballot as the Senate elections. While all of these Americans are coming out to vote for their senator, they will additionally be voting for their president too, and vice versa. So, of course, that will have an effect on who they vote for, whoever they vote for on the presidential level. It will have an effect on who they vote for, on the Senate ballot. So, the 2024 matchup is likely to be Donald Trump versus whatever his name is, Joe Biden. So, yeah, let's get right into it. I do think that Biden would win the presidential election, and that this could potentially, in most states, boost the Democrats up just a bit. So, as we always do, let's start off with safe Democratic states. These states will be decided by 15% or more. Likely margin is 5 to 15. Washington is safe. California is safe. Maryland, Delaware, New York, Connecticut will be safe, even though, Chris Murphy is popular. Rhode Island, safe. Massachusetts. Vermont is safe for Bernie. And then Maine depends on whether Angus King runs again, but he probably will. And then Minnesota, Amy Klobuchar is immensely popular, and she wins by a safe margin. Now, onto safe Republican states. We have Wyoming, of course, North Dakota, Nebraska, and Nebraska's special election, Mississippi, Tennessee, Indiana, Utah, and that is going to be it. So, that puts the Republican Party ahead with 46 seats to the Democrats' 39. So now we have somewhat competitive states here. These states are likely states and will be decided by 5 to 15%. First up is New Jersey. Bob Menendez will win by a very good margin, but it will not quite be a safe margin. There are a lot of scandals surrounding his name. Daniel Cruz, who will probably win the Republican nomination for Senate, is a kind of strong candidate, from what I've seen at least. And New Jersey, could be competitive, but at this time I think it's, on the higher side of a likely margin win for the Democrats. Tim Kaine is running once again in Virginia. There are not really any strong contenders against Tim Kaine. The most likely nominee, honestly, is Hung Cao, who was an unsuccessful congressional candidate in 2022. So they will just be nominating a loser. Again, I don't think that Glenn Youngkin would run. If Glenn Youngkin does run, it would be a lean margin, but Virginia, I think, stays likely at this point. New Mexico is a, pretty democratic state, doesn't need to be said. But it's never quite a safe state on the presidential level, Senate or governor. So I have it. Martin Heinrich will win another term there. Okay. So then we have the state of Pennsylvania, which, and this one is interesting because, like a lot of swing states, it's really going to depend on who the Republican nominee is, because Doug Mastriano is definitely going to get in the race, and he lost by 14 in the gubernatorial election, so in 2022. So if they do nominate him, it's a likely margin win for Bob Casey, the incumbent Democrat. If they nominate maybe Dave McCormick, it's lean, but at this point, looking at the polling, Mastriano is a huge lead. I'm still thinking that Pennsylvania Republicans haven't even learned their lesson from 2022. And I'm thinking Bob Casey wins re-election by a likely margin. And we underestimated Dems big time in Pennsylvania last year. We said that Oz was going to win by 1 or 2. We said that Shapiro, the Dems, would win the governor election by a lean margin. By we, I mean most of us. So Pennsylvania, I have likely Democrat at this point. Now let's move into likely Republican states. Missouri, Lucas Kunce, the Democrat, will put up a good fight, but at the end of the day, Josh Hawley will be reelected by, pretty good margin. Florida, Rick Scott will win another term. Very trending Republican state. Florida Dems, they're going to have a hard time for years to come. And, plus, Rick Scott is the incumbent. He won't have that hard of a time winning re-election. At the end of the day, while it might have been so competitive in 2018, Texas will be a likely margin win for Ted Cruz. The best they could do is nominate Julian Castro or Joaquin Castro. Honestly, I think that both of those figures would be able to make it a lean margin win. But I'm not quite sure that they are very interested in running, and they don't really have anyone else to run. So I think that is a likely margin win for Republicans there in Texas. And then, oh my God, I forgot a safe Democratic state. So sorry, Hawaii will be safe for the Dems. And then we have one more likely state. In this state, even though it's not lean, it's likely a more than 5% margin. I think that West Virginia flips to the Republicans. I think that Joe Manchin loses re-election to Jim Justice, Alex Mooney, whoever it may be. It really doesn't matter. Joe Manchin is losing re-election. I mean, in 2018, he had just such an easy race, and the national environment was much better for Democrats. His opponent was a horrible candidate, scandalous. He was like the worst candidate the Republicans could have nominated. But looking at 2022, they have a strong lineup. Jim Justice would be an amazing candidate, the governor. Alex Mooney would be a slightly less stronger candidate, but still would be able to get the job done. That's all you have to do in West Virginia if you're a Republican, get the job done. I think that both of those people would. West Virginia flips to the Republicans. That gives them 50 seats. They just need one more for majority, but if they win the presidency, which I don't think they will do, then they already have majority, but I really don't think that they will. So, that is it for likely states. That puts the Republican Party at 50 seats. They need one more for majority. The Democrats at 44. They need 7 more for majority. So, Democrats will need to win all the remaining states. Arizona, Ruben Gallego will need to win. Nevada, Jackie Rosen will need to hang on. John Tester in Montana will have to hang on. Tammy Baldwin and Sherrod Brown in Wisconsin and Ohio will have to hang on. And then either Elisa Slotkin or Benson. Well, that doesn't matter. Anyway, let's get started. So, lean Democratic states. Let's go. Michigan, I think that Elisa Slotkin will be nominated by the Democratic Party, in saying that she wins in a swing district. She is a congresswoman. I think that she is a great candidate, and that she would be able to take on really like any Republicans challenger that the party puts against her. I mean, Lisa McClain, I think, would be the best Republican to nominate, for being real. But I think that Slotkin, beats her. Tudor Dixon, I know, isn't running, but that would be a blowout. But you get the idea. I mean, there aren't a lot of strong Republicans in a lot of these states. Nevada, no really strong Republicans. Arizona, no strong Republicans. Wisconsin, there's a few. Pennsylvania, there's none. But Michigan is one of those states too. There are just not many Republicans that could take on like an incumbent or a strong Democrat like Slotkin. So I have that race going to lean for the Democrats. Probably a 2 or 3 point win for Slotkin. Not too much. Where do we go next? So Nevada is one of the extreme cases of Republicans not having candidates to nominate. And I honestly think that the best they could do, I know this sounds crazy, but would be to nominate Adam Laxalt again. And I'm saying that in a, seriously, that is what I think, and that just shows how I have no hope for Republicans in the Nevada Senate race in 2024. Adam Laxalt is a proven loser. Losers typically don't win again when they run again. So I don't think that they're going to really win either way. At this point, I have a lean Rosen. Alright, where do we go next? So that will be it, I think. Arizona, I'm pretty unsure of. That's another one where it depends on who the Republicans nominate for Senate. But I'm honestly thinking Mark Lamb at this point. He is someone that or many of the Republicans in Arizona are getting behind. So I don't think that he would be too strong of a candidate, but we'll get there. I guess and then Republicans have one lean state, that is the state of Ohio, which they flip. They flip West Virginia and Ohio, and that gives them majority. 51 seats to 46 currently. I think that Sherrod Brown does get ousted from the Senate. I think that the party voters have become so much more partisan in just the 6-year span. And we have to remember, and the same in West Virginia, Republicans nominated a horrible candidate in 2018. There are much better candidates in 2024. I mean, Matt Dolan would be a phenomenal candidate. He would win by a lean margin. They have Mike LaRose. He would be a great candidate. They have so many candidates that they could run who aren't poor. So I think that really most of them would be able to flip the Ohio Senate seat, giving them 51 seats. So the last 3 states I think are still Democrat. I'll just get them over with. Wisconsin would be close to being lean, but I think that Mike Gallagher, a congressman who would be a very strong candidate, does run. Any other candidate the Republicans run, it would be a lean margin win for the Democrats. But Tammy Baldwin hangs on either way in Wisconsin. She's popular, and the incumbency factor plays a huge part in Senate elections, especially in a state like Wisconsin. Jon Tester holds on in Montana. With the state trending so left, not really any, great candidates. I mean, Matt Rosendale would be a pretty strong candidate. I think that Jon Tester would be able to run it up in Montana's 1st congressional district, which Democrats essentially weren't able to do in 2022. And it was still close. It was still a close election, but they really weren't able to turn out the vote as they could have. But Jon Tester, with it being a presidential year, I think that really helps Jon Tester in Montana, and that he does win re-election. In Arizona, I'm pretty unsure on whether it's lean or a tilt for the Democrats, but I do know that they win it regardless. We do need more polls, in my opinion, in Arizona, just to get a feel of how well Sinema is doing. We don't know if Sinema is getting 1/3 of the vote right now, or if she's getting 15%, or if she's getting 5%. We really don't know, and we need some polls to tell us that, and then we could, make more accurate predictions, because her running as an independent really does shake up the race in a major way. So this is my current Senate prediction. I have the Republicans taking back control of the United States Senate, Democrats keeping control of the presidency, and them taking back control of the House. So Republicans win 51 seats in the Senate, Democrats win 49. Once again, a narrow margin in the Senate, and that will be how it is for years to come until we become less partisan, I guess. But anyway, thanks for watching. I hope you all enjoyed. Drop a comment in the comments. But anyway, thanks for watching, as I said, and have a good day. Thank you very much.